I moved into that apartment about 8 months ago. It was in a quiet area just outside Columbus. Nothing special, but it was clean. The rent was cheap, the landlord was decent, and the neighbors seemed normal. At least, that's what I thought at first. It was a one-bedroom apartment on the ground floor. An old building, probably from the 70s. The floors creaked constantly, and the pipes made these weird knocking sounds whenever someone upstairs used water. At first, everything felt normal, peaceful. But then, small things started happening. The first thing I noticed was my toothbrush. I always keep it in the same spot, right side of the sink, next to the mirror. I'm kind of OCD about stuff like that. One morning, I walked into the bathroom, and it was wet. Not just damp, completely wet, like someone had just used it. At first I thought, maybe I used it half asleep and just didn't remember. That happens, right? So I ignored it. But then it kept happening. Every single morning, the toothbrush was wet, whether I used it or not. So one night, I tested it. I dried it completely, wiped it down with a paper towel, left the bathroom light off. Next morning, wet again. And there was a faint smell of toothpaste in the air. That's when things started to feel off. Not scary, just like I was being watched. Then food started going missing. I live alone, so I know exactly how much food I have. One night I ordered Chinese, ate half, left the rest in the fridge. Next day, gone. Not partially eaten, completely gone. The container was still there, but empty. That's when I checked the locks. Door locked, windows shut. No signs of a break-in. I tried to explain it away. Maybe I ate it and forgot. Maybe stress was messing with my memory. That explanation lasted 2 days. Then, I heard it. Around 2:30 a.m., I woke up suddenly. No reason. Just awake. I was staring at the ceiling in the dark when I heard it. A soft, scraping sound. At first I thought it was coming from outside, but then it came again, closer, lower, under me, under my bed. I froze, completely still. My bed has a wooden frame, slightly elevated, enough space for storage, or something else. The sound came again, slow, like something dragging against wood, and then it stopped. I didn't move, didn't look, just lay there. I don't remember when I fell asleep. The next morning, I checked under the bed. Nothing, just dust, and some old shoes. That should have reassured me, but it didn't, because something felt wrong. The air in the room felt used, like someone had been there. After that, things got worse. My clothes started disappearing. First socks, then t-shirts. One hoodie disappeared for 3 days, then came back, folded. I never fold my clothes. Then the smell started. A damp, rotting smell, like wet fabric left too long. I cleaned everything, took out the trash, scrubbed the bathroom. Nothing helped. Then one night, I bent down to grab my charger, and the smell got stronger, right from under the bed. I froze, my hand inches from the floor, and then I heard breathing, slow, steady. Someone was breathing under my bed. I jumped back instantly, almost knocked over my chair. I just stood there, staring at the bed. Silence. I grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen. My hands were shaking. I came back, knelt down, shined the light underneath. Nothing at all, but the smell was still there. At that point, I knew something was wrong, so I did something. I turned on my phone's recording and hid it between the flowers on my side table, angled directly toward the bed, but hidden enough that no one would notice it easily. I lay down, and somehow, I actually fell asleep, deep sleep. When morning light started coming in, I woke up. For a few seconds I just stared at the ceiling. Then it all hit me. I quickly grabbed my phone, heart pounding, opened the recording. At first, nothing. Just me, asleep, room completely still. Then, around 2:47 a.m., movement. And then, my heart stopped. Something moved, under the bed. Slowly, a figure began crawling out of the darkness. A man, long, dirty hair, his skin, filthy. He fully crawled out, and sat there for a few seconds, like he was listening. Then slowly, he lifted his head, and looked at me. In the video, I was asleep, completely unaware. He stood up, and casually, started walking around my room, like it was his. He touched my things, picked up my books, smelled my clothes. Then he walked into the kitchen, He disappeared for a few minutes, then came back, holding my food. He sat on the floor and started eating, with dirty hands, fast, like he'd done it before, like this was routine. Then, he stood up and walked into my bathroom. Water sounds. He was showering in my bathroom. My mind went completely blank. The video kept playing. Around 5 a.m., when sunlight started coming in, he came back out, looked around the room one last time, then walked straight to my bed. My heart stopped again. He bent down and quietly crawled back under. The video ended. I was sitting there, phone in my hand. My entire body went numb because I was sitting on that bed, and right under me, he was still there. My feet were hanging off the bed, touching the floor, and now they were shaking. I knew if I made even the slightest mistake, I might not survive. I couldn't let him know that I knew. I took a deep breath, calmed myself, and slowly acted normal, like nothing had happened, like I had no idea. I casually slipped the phone into my pocket, got up slowly, every step controlled. I walked into the bathroom, closed the door, locked it, and the moment I did, my hands started shaking. I pulled out my phone, texted my friend. My hands were sweating. Outside, complete silence. A few minutes felt like hours. Then, a knock, loud. "Police, open the door." That voice brought me back to life. I opened the door immediately. 2 officers walked in. I couldn't even speak. I just pointed toward the bed. They looked at each other, then slowly walked toward it. One of them knelt down, shined a flashlight underneath. A few seconds of complete silence. Then suddenly, "Get out! Hands where I can see them!" And the next moment, they dragged him out. It was him. Same long hair, same filthy skin. But this time, his eyes were locked on me. And he was smiling, like he knew this wasn't over. They took him away. He didn't resist, didn't scream, didn't even try to run. He just kept turning back, looking at me. And every time, he smiled. There was something in his eyes, not fear, not panic, recognition, like he knew me. One officer came up to me. "Do you have any idea how long he's been here?" I shook my head. "No. I left that apartment the same day. Didn't take most of my stuff. Just left. Stayed at a friend's place for a while. Police said he was homeless. Probably got in through vents or some old access panel. But they also told me something I still can't get out of my head. They said he told them he had been living there even before I moved in. I tried to forget everything, move to a new place, fresh start. But some things don't leave you.